Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome. Report has it that the missing staff has turned the palace into a battlefield of accusation. Was this talk about Ikōri Aiyê all about moving staff out by those men? Dr. Sapphire asks. This is what is going on. They said Dr. Sapphire has come to ask that this talk about moving, Ikōri Aiyê, removing Ikōri Aiyê pot from the Igbo forest. Are you sure it wasn't all orchestrated to create an avenue for them to be able to move the staff out of the palace? Because that is exactly what it is looking like. They said a palace without peace is like a calabash floating on troubled water. No matter how hard it tries to balance, one small wave can turn it upside down. That is how it felt inside the palace of the Great Lion after the disappearance of the sacred staff of Aceh. The calm that used to surround the courtyard had broken completely. Even the remaining one that, the remaining one, it's been basbo, but the remaining one has been taken away. People were not just whispering anymore. They were openly, pointing fingers. Servants accused chiefs accused guard accused visitors, and elders, started looking at one another, wives accusing wives. The sacred halls that once echoed with chants of blessing now echo with murmurs of betrayal. It's no longer about finding the staff. It's about finding who to blame. For 2 days, the Great Lion had kept quiet, but everyone could feel the storm building in his silence. The staff is not an ornament. It's the voice of command, the very link between the throne and the gods. Without it, even the smallest ritual would not proceed. And with the December rites approaching, the tension in the palace, is honestly reaching a boiling point. Like, it is so bad, Dela writes. It is terrible, Dela writes. Dela writes, let's use this opportunity to give a shout out to our channel members. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you from the depth of my heart. I am in a vehicle right now. I will not be able to call the names, but you know yourselves. I appreciate you. Tomorrow I'll call you. I'll send you hugs. I'll send you kisses. And Dela writes, for all of you, you know how much I love you. You know how much I respect you. You know how much I appreciate each and every one of you. I love you guys so much. Everybody. Dela writes, my Dela writes, my Dela writes, my own people. Dela writes, my Dela writes, my Dela writes, my super people. Esheo, adukba. They said Chief Security Officer had already been questioned twice. He swore he didn't sleep that night, that he watched over the palace gates himself, but 3 servants had vanished, the same ones who arrived only a few days before the staff went missing. People began to connect the dots. Those servants came from no known family in Ife, and nobody could say exactly who approved their employment. The fear in the palace has turned to anger. Everybody has something to say, like everybody is saying, what the hell is going on now? Then another detail came to light, one that shocked everyone again. The night before the staff disappeared, 4 men from the Ile-Orokitan household were received in the palace. They said they came to discuss matters concerning the Ikōri Aiyê pot buried deep in Igbo Ado Ugbo forest. The same mysterious pot Ebony has been threatening to remove. They spoke at length about reconciliation, about restoring balance to the lineage, and the Great Lion, in his usual kindness, allowed them to stay overnight in the palace guest room. Now the question is being asked everywhere. Was that visit really about the pot, or was it a distraction to move something else, something from, far more sacred? Now, by today, as in this afternoon, the palace is no longer just tense. It's in chaos. The elders of the palace had gathered in the great hall to discuss the matter. The high chief spoke angrily, accusing each other of negligence. The wives were crying, saying, they have nothing to do with it. They said it was then that Dr. Sapphire, said something, that this Ikōri Aiyê that they have been talking about, that brought these people into the palace, was it all about moving the staff? Or it was really because when Ebony talked about Ikōri Aiyê, hey, palace scatter. You know, when you can't get like say a person goes shit keep for in sitting room. Everybody was shocked. Of all people, they never expected that something like this would be coming from Ebony. So with everything that is happening now, they are asking, is it about Ikōri Aiyê? They say Dr. Lizzie stood up and, asked a question that silenced everyone. They said that question silenced everyone. Was this entire talk about Ikōri Aiyê just a cover? She asked, did those men use that conversation to move the staff out of the palace while everyone's attention was on the pot? The moment she said that, the whole room went quiet. You could hear, people breathing. Some, chiefs shifted uncomfortable. Others avoided her eyes. The words had cut straight to the heart of the, suspicion everyone was afraid to voice out. Because if what, Sapphire said was true, then the thief, whoever stole that staff, used spiritual trickery. It was a careful plan. Plan that was carried out under palace nose without people even knowing what was going on. They said a great lion sat in silence listening. He did not interrupt anybody. His face gave nothing away, but those who know him very well feel his anger building beneath that stillness. The chief began to argue again, some insisting that the Orokitan men came in peace, others saying their presence that night was no coincidence. Every conversation turned into shouting. Some accused the palace security of being compromised. Others said Ebony supporters were using the missing staff as a weapon to force the Great Lion to restore her standing. The council became a battlefield of accusation. Loyalty, lines, are blood right now. People who once walked hand in hand, are suddenly pointing fingers at each other. Two chiefs nearly fought until the royal guards stepped in to separate them. Outside the palace, workers gathered in small groups, trading rumors. Some said the staff had already been taken into the forest, buried under the same tree that marked the resting, place of an old Onistius. Others believed it had been sold or hidden as part of a bargain for forgiveness. No one knows what. In fact, nobody knows what is going on, but it is not good. They said this night, as it is now, tension has, grown worse. Dr. Sapphire has been called again to meet privately with the Great Lion and the senior priest. They said she spoke softly but firmly, explaining that if the staff had been moved using spiritual manipulation tied to the Ikōri Aiyê pot, then its energy could not be traced by ordinary divination. That's the Ifa priest who came, and they now called Dr. Sapphire to come and sit with the Oni of Ife. You know how they would bring one wife to sit while they would be doing consultation? It was Dr. Sapphire that was there. They said, in fact, it was all about the staff and the Ikōri Aiyê. And the Great Lion is so upset. The Great Lion is insisting that Ebony goes to the forest to remove the pot. I'm going to bring you more updates. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.